Hey guys, it's Melissa here. I am tired. Tired. Nothing like crazy tired, just worn out. Like I was sick the other day, and so I think I'm still just kind of worn out from that. So, yeah, I want to share something. I just finished a class for trauma with abortion, the trauma that you go through. And one of my goals on this channel is to coach women and to help women in like tons of ways, right? With scripture, with things you've gone through in life, and one of those things was an abortion for me. So I've been listening to a podcast, and one of the ladies on there talked about that abortion is just very business transactional. And I know for me, my emotions were not involved. I was not emotionally involved. I did not connect with my baby. I didn't understand what being pregnant was. I didn't understand what an abortion was. I just knew I was in deep trouble, right? So, as I just heard that podcast, and then I just finished a group with some ladies, we talked about looking at your thoughts during the time of the abortion. How were you feeling? What were you thinking? And I just remember my main emotion was pain. Pain. I did not know what was going to happen, and when the doctor put something in me, which I didn't even know what it was, I I was taken aback because I did not know what was going to happen. There was no informed consent, no nothing. I went in totally blindsided into this. I was just told, don't sign the paper. And so once I went upstairs, I remember once something was put in me, which I now know was the things to dilate me, the Laminex stuff, like seaweed. I had to look that up years later. I didn't even know what it was. Fear. Fear scared me. Another thing that I felt was, a sense of a certain authority figures, right? The authority figures you're taught growing up, you're supposed to listen, be a good kid, do what you're told. And so that authority figure, that was something like I felt like, even though I didn't know what it was, I think even if they would have told me at the time and said, with the deceptive language they use, oh, it was just, it's just a blob of tissue, I probably would have believed them because they were in charge, right? And when I stood up in front of the New Hampshire State House and shared my testimony, I actually made a joke, kind of, not in front of everyone, but later I had talked about the white coats. That's how I described these doctors in white coats coming over and wanting to abort babies, because we think of doctors who have like these white coats, and even commercials, when you see somebody in a white coat, you think they have a certain authority or a certain expertise because they are just wearing a white coat, right? Without even thinking twice that a doctor could be wrong, right? So, and then I listened to somebody who was saying too that it's so transactional that even if a woman was to change her mind later, it would be very difficult to identify, even at 16, right? To identify the different things going on and to pick up the relational aspects going on. So for her, she had said when she had actually had a sonogram, and she had said, oh, is that the baby? And there was no care or nothing else offered. Like nothing, she could not, no one picked it up for her and said, she just said yes. That's it. She didn't say oh, wait a minute, this is a baby, and are you questioning now that that's a baby? Or there was no extra care is what she was saying. So she felt like she kind of had to go through with it, I think, is what she was saying. So even though women have chosen, right, it doesn't mean that they completely chose. Like they may have chosen, yes, I'm going to go get it done, may not have completely known what it was, but the time that they got there and they were partway done, they may have been like, oh, I don't really want this to happen, or I don't understand this. But yet the environment, the atmosphere in this in these offices are pretty forceful, and they're pretty much, you know, no emotion, done deal, get it together and let's go, you know? So that's something that came up for me. How unattached do you have to be? And you're in a doctor's office, right? Or a abortion clinic, and that should be the biggest place people care for you, and they're not caring for you. They're just like, all business, let's talk you into it, you know, for some people, or other women have been manipulated into it. And this is the place you're supposed to be cared about, right? And you're not. So, yeah, those are a couple things. The group I was in was talking about, think about how you felt and what your thoughts were. And, you know, so another thought for me was pain. Pain and suffering. When I was in the car, it was nothing but pain. That's all I could focus on, was to somehow get through the pain. And I was breathing, and I was kind of like looking down in between my legs, kind of bent over, just trying to breathe. And I do not remember how I got over, how I was taken back over to the clinic. I don't remember anything about it. I don't know, right? And so, you know, I guess it's just, you know, think about your thoughts about that day and try to get your head with your heart, because a lot of trauma stays in our body, and we do not know, we can't always connect the head and the heart. A lot of women have, you know, headaches, migraines, whatever. And like today I saw a basketball. My first boyfriend was a very good basketball player, and I have never seen their basketball the way I did today, and that's because I'm healing. So, I mean, geez, you know, I have boys. My boys played basketball. Never thought twice about seeing a basketball. But I was cleaning today, and we were picking up the rooms, and there was a basketball in the room, and that just made me freeze. I just froze, and I'm like, why are you remembering your boyfriend now? Why are you remembering him? And again, it's like an onion with layers, and you have to get through it. You have to get through the big healing and then get through the other stuff. So all that stuff that's been blocked, that I haven't really thought about, starts to come out, and this is part of the healing process. It's not fun, it's treacherous, it's hard work, one of the hardest things you have to do. A lot of women will go to alcohol or food or something to soothe you know, those feelings, some coping mechanism, because they don't know how to deal with it. The only way to deal with it is to look it straight in the eye and deal with it. And with other women, you need a support system. You need other women to help you understand things you really were not able to put into words. So anyone who's had this, I recommend a bunch of women who have had this, so that they can comfort you and they can help you. I did a video of why is there suffering in the world, and a lot of times it makes us stronger in God. It helps us to be more dependent upon Him. But one thing I know that I did not mention is, with the trials we go through in life, whatever they are, they help us to offer other people comfort who go through it. So if you haven't had an abortion, you don't really understand what women who have had an abortion go through. So it's important to have other women who have gone through this experience to help you. Okay, thanks for joining me, guys.